your roll call and become yelling, screaming, being boisterous, and carrying a firearm, or whatever the case may be, what happens to that person?
They can be removed.
Thank you very much, sir.
They can be warned, they can be removed, they can, whatever they need to be.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. We have the item for discussion, Mariah Fund and then public participation. We might try it that way. The audience can comment on what's been discussed. Mr. Johnson, did you want to lead us off and kind of give us the staff's
Yes,
idea?
Mayor. Yes. So we set aside funds for this, for Mariah, and council has tasked me with coming up with programs that we can do to help prevent crime and youth violence. So I went and reached out to another agency, Career Source Florida Crime, to see what programs they already are offering and see if we can kind of have a partnership to kind of make this program, the longevity of it. We don't want it to be a one-time thing from what I got from each one of you. You want something that's going to be ongoing. So I got before y'all different kinds of programs that they have to offer. Not saying that these are the programs that they're going to use for us, but this is just what they have going right now. Talks are preliminary. We don't have anything on paper right now, but we wanted to kind of cover our age group as far as, youngest 11 to all the way up to possibly 24. They are in need of a building right now, and I think we have a facility that could fit their needs. When I ask people where Career Source is, a lot of them don't actually know where this building is located. So if we can get them in a place where it can be easily accessed and is very noticeable to where it's at, I think it will be benefit for the long-term youth programs that we have.
Okay, any council have any comments at this time? The main thing I want is accountability, so that we're not just throwing money somewhere and, that we can do it and have programs that will benefit the youth and actually make a difference with this fund.
And I think with this is what you're gonna get. You get sustainability. We used to be in the recreation business. We all know that went away due to funding issues. With this agency already getting state funds, I don't think if the city doesn't have the same amount of money in the future, that these programs will still actually be operational because they already have funding. They're not dependent upon the city funding. This is extra funds. And I also think that this company has the flexibility to adjust with the times. We all know today's kids might not be next year's kids or next generation kids. They have the flexibility to, and the connections in the community already to move this program forward.
You said the discussions are preliminary, so what I would kind of suggesting, I guess you're leading up to is with the direction of council, go back to them and then come up with a more specific programs.
Yes, if you can give me and legal the go ahead and bring something back to you to a regular council meeting to vote on, kind of give me some kind of guidance on how you want it, anything extra, what particular programs y'all might want. Like I said, they have stuff to help kids get through school. They have stuff to help them after school. They also have something for the young adults. So it kind of captures a lot of age groups with one agency, and they also have interlocal agreements with other agencies that they can also use to network and use these funds. So I just think you're putting the money into a pot or in a place, and that, not saying put the whole 200,000 over there.
Right.
I know speaking with y'all had other options that y'all also wanted to look into as well. Right now, I don't have a definite number that Florida Crime will need. That'll be something that we'll have to get together and create a budget and bring it back to you to look at.
I gotta go.
Sure.
First of all, if we partnership with them, will we have any say on how and where the money is being spent? Such as, again, we want to make sure that the money is being spent right. It's going to be spent in the locations that really need it. And second, again, if we partnership with them, I spoke with one individual that works for Florida Crime. and they were interested in a building that the city has. If we do this, if they get one of the city buildings, will they, if we partner with them, will we have to pay their bill for utility bills and all that?
That would still be in the talks, but I would think the building would be the in-kind services. I would think that they would be responsible for all the maintenance of the building. And of course, if it's something major, big improvements, it's still our property. We're just leasing it. We're not giving them the building. So any improvements would benefit us because we have the ownership of the building. Now, when something arises, of course, if it's something that we need to entertain far as partnership and tackling, that would be something I would bring back to y'all. But I would think the purpose of giving them leasing them the building would be for them to take control over it.
And the programs, if we say, yeah, you can put this program on, we can put whatever stipulations we want.
Oh, yes, and the comment on far as if you say so, they will present a budget for you to approve. So you would have say so in what programs would be going on because you'll have to approve it per the budget.
And I'd like, a periodic review,
Oh, yeah, this is gonna give you results that you can actually measure of success, instead of saying, well, we hope that it works, you actually have numbers and data that you can actually research to see if you're going in the right direction with the programs. And the area that I'm speaking about, just to give y'all a better visual, would be my old girls club building. We're getting ready to invest money into a skate park, which is gonna bring in teens to that area. If we can get them right outside of their door to be able to reach these teens, it's kind of working hand in hand. You're gonna draw the teens to a certain area, that's where the help should be.
That's all I have right now.
Mr. Johnson, for now, I understand you reached out to Career Source, and I have no problem with that. However, the parent and the grandparent, I want them to have more say-so in where and how these funds will be presented. And I would like to see any and everything presented in that young lady's honor. I just don't wanna give something to the Career Source and whatever the case may be, and nothing is about the teen. So whatever we do, it's gonna be, I'm in favor of Mariah. And I don't wanna just reach out to one entity to try to get this done. I like to reach out to various entities. For example, the police department, the high school, North Star, the college, the Richardson Community Center. Just the list can go on and on and on. I talked to various people about this, and it almost broke my heart today to talk to the mom, and nobody has reached out to her. From my understanding, that's what I was told by her. And how are we gonna do this? I'm gonna wait to public participation and listen to the comments, but I want a vast amount of things to bring to the table, not just one for right now. So if you could reach out to some of those same individuals. I talked to the principal to the high school, Trey Hosford, and he gave me some very, very good ideas. What I would like to see is during school and after school, there's programs all around the city to keep our teens involved. So please, whatever you do, whatever we decide upon, that we reach out to everyone and get an idea on what's going on.
And to that, I'm sorry, you done? And to that point, that was one of my reasons for reaching out to Career Source, because they already have those connections in place, and we can just build off of those connections that they already have in place. They're already in the schools, they're already working with the college, they're already working with a lot of the agencies that you just named. So that was one of my main reasons for reaching out to them, not to reinvent the wheel, just kind of piggyback and help them build what they already have going on. But I think it will be a collective effort to attack the violence and to get this program started in our community. I mean, it's going to take everybody. So I agree with that statement.
Yes, and again, just make sure that, I see her mom and her grandmother and her aunts out here right now. Just make sure whatever you do, that those, can you stand up, ma'am? I know everybody knows who you are. I just wanna make sure that, whatever we do, that she's involved in it. Cause that's important to me. I know it's got to be important to you as well,
course.
and everybody up here on this council. So just make sure she's aware. And if it goes wrong, I guarantee you that the one in the green right there, she don't mind getting whoever straightened out. That's including me and you. So I've been knowing her quite some time. So whatever you do, please, whatever you do, get that family involved.
Well, they're here tonight. I'm sure we'll be hearing some suggestions from them during comment time.
All right, thank you. That's all I got, Mayor.
Okay. Anything else from council at this point?
No.
Okay, we're getting into public comment. Alita Gaskins.
My name is Alita Gaskins. I live in Lake City, 539 Southeast Brandon Drive. And I don't know a whole lot about this funding stuff, but I would like to say that there's a whole lot of stuff going on that the kids need in funding. And I think it should go in areas to benefit all of the kids. I'm sorry for their loss, their child and everything. It was a very, very tragic, painful situation, but this fund need to be used so the kids will have somewhere to go after school. I hear y'all talking about after school care and all this stuff, but I don't like the fact that our kids have to go to Jacksonville or Gainesville just to get some type of entertainment. We have nothing here in Columbia County to offer our kids. They don't want to go to after school care all the time. They want to have fun. They want Chuck E. Cheese. They want, they want to go to Fun City, some kind of activities. Why we can't have something like that done here for the kids? Why all the money got to always be put on businesses and, nothing that we can grow in as a family outing. We got to go to another county, somewhere else to have fun. It would be nice to have that here for our kids in Columbia County. It's time to put the money in Columbia County where we can see our kids grow and have fun. I don't like having to go out of town to take my grandkids somewhere to have fun. So that's my opinion about the funds for this.
Thank you. B. Coker.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is B. Coker, 636 Southeast Band Drive. I didn't know Mariah, but I know of her family. And I've watched her mom grieve like I've grieved over a lost one. And I'm sorry for her loss because it's devastating. I look at the holistic problem, and the holistic problem is that this child should be with us now, and she's not with us. So I look at why she's not with us. And I know that $200,000 is not a lot of money. It is not a lot of money. but we have a lot of need, and we have a need for law enforcement to understand how this child could have and how other children can be protected. I think about that we're in the middle of an investigation still, so we don't know all the details. We don't know if it's gang related. We don't know if law enforcement could have had resources that they didn't have. I know that I saw her mom periodically as she worked. I think about all of those things. I'm asking you, as you consider how to spend funds that honor her life and honor how to protect other children, that you think about it holistically. You think about all the elements that are involved, because I am a mom and I don't know what she is going through, because I can't imagine not having any of my children with me. I've lost someone to gun violence. I think about just gun violence. What are we doing to educate these children about what is involved in them using guns, possessing guns? What are we doing to make sure that the people who should have guns have guns? What are we doing to make sure that parents aren't forced to be at work instead of at home with their children? What are we doing to resolve all the issues that surround the circumstances that led to it? And I don't know that we even have all of the answers. I know that I hurt because this kid was a year older than my youngest son. And it is not okay. I mean, it's not okay. So I'm asking you to think about the holistic problem and all of the situation, all of the elements that go into the holistic problem. And how do we resolve that? How do we equip our community to have the resources that they need? Because there's a lot of programs. There is the Navy Sea Cadets, the City of Lake City Police Department have a Youth Explorer program. And we do need to be offsetting the cost of some of these programs so that children can participate. I'm just asking you to look at the holistic problem. We need someone at the police department that has a specialty in gang-related understanding, and I don't know that we have that. We need to make sure that this child is honored in her, what could have been her life. And so whatever her desire was, maybe she wanted to be a cosmetologist, maybe she wanted to be a doctor, some fun that honors her, the life that she was not able to have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Sylvester Warren?
Mayor Sylvester Warren. Mayor, first, I would like to do a little house cleaning. When are we going to implement the Police Citizen Review Board? This council have voted on this thing years ago, and every opportunity that it should be on the agenda for implementation or workshop, for some reason you guys kick the can down the road, but it's been voted on. And how long do citizens have to wait on things that have been voted on before they become implemented? That's my first thing. And second, Mayor, I still have not received my public records request, and therefore I think Judge Browning will be sending an order down to you guys. And we did talk about the possibility of sanctions against those who have impeded upon my due process, which would be the city clerk and public records request. So leaving that matter, oh yeah, I'm not playing with y'all. So let's get to Mariah for a second, right? I hear and I see everybody here, right, as it relates to Mariah. What breaks my heart is that a lot of people didn't support Mariah. A lot of people didn't show up for Mariah. But when money is getting spent in Mariah's name, everybody got an idea. And what's offensive to me personally is that I believe if the fund is Mariah, then who is Mariah's heir? That would be her mother, that would be her brother and her sister. right? What district it happened in? It happened in 12. Who's the city manager? You the interim city manager, Mr. Johnson. Why has there not been a discussion between those individuals, meaning the parent, the grandparent, and the kids, to know what her dreams were, her passions were, and that y'all met as a group and came back and laid something out? This one is about Mariah. This ain't got nothing to do with what I want, you want, he want, she want. Y'all said y'all funded it for her. Who know her and what she wants better than her mama and her grandma and her siblings? I couldn't even sit up here and tell you what Mariah want. So why are you calling it the Mariah Fund if you're gonna be spending the funds on things that Mariah may not even be into? She may not even approve of that if she was alive. She may not even approve of it from heaven. Because that's where I believe she's at. But I just think y'all going about it ass backwards. That's just my opinion. Thank you.
Jason Fudge?
Good evening, City Council. My name is Jason Futch. I'm the Executive Director of Swanee Valley Unsolved. I reside over at 136 Southeast Caleb Court, Lake City, Florida. First and foremost, when I first heard about this case, the Mariah case, it really broke my heart to see how tragic a situation like this can actually happen here in small town America like Lake City. And to Mariah's family, my condolences on your loss. And the thing is that since we started Swanee Valley Unsolved back in 2023, last year, and actually going a little bit before that, we've encountered families that have dealt with this same heartache, the same tragedy of losing a loved one. However, it goes beyond that because they still don't have answers in these situations. They're still grieving about the loss and what happened in their lives since then. And just a really quick story. We had a situation where there's a cold case here in Columbia County from 1983. We finally had an opportunity to reach out to that family member who lives in Swanee County. It was the victim's brother, who is now in his 70s. And we spoke to him, and he said, "You want to know, Jason, the last time we had any contact with law enforcement about my brother's case and his twin brother, let me know. What's the answer?" It was 1984. And he went 40 years without hearing from law enforcement before we set that meeting up with the investigator in his brother's case. That being said, once we became a nonprofit, we had this goal of outreach, of victim advocacy in this community, Lake City, Columbia County, and we want to represent these families that still have no answers, and even families that do have answers but need the help that possible. And that's why with Mariah's family, I know that the case is still far from over, but we want to be here to help you guys. Whatever you guys need, we're here. And we just wanted to take a minute to introduce ourselves because we're going to be here a little bit more often. We want to get the word out that we're here in it for the long run, for the families. We're growing for the families. And in this funding, in regards to the funding, definitely needs to go to outreach and to advocacy for other victims' families who either still have no answers or do have answers but need more, like counseling services for grief counseling and maintaining that connection to make sure that they're still getting the help that they need in the long run, especially for children, especially for friends of Mariah or someone else who may experience this situation. Thank you so much for giving me the time, and thank you all. Thank you so much.
Reverend Dr. Pamela Green?
Good evening. How's everyone this evening? Nice to see everyone. Nice to see you. I'll talk to you after. She's been trying to reach out to me, and I need to get back with her. I'm so happy that we're having this meeting tonight to be able to give our input. And I did give my address, 1145 Northeast Bascom Norris. I have a few points. Point one, just to make sure, I've said this before, just to make sure that whatever criteria that's established includes measurable outcomes, that we don't want someone just to come up and say, you know, we can do this, but they really do need to have measurable outcomes. And as Councilwoman Shavella Young pointed out, I think about 4 meetings ago, that when money is distributed to these companies, to these agencies, that the following year they need to come back and say what they did, instead of just giving them money again, and no one knows if there was any success. No one even knows if anybody came to the program. So I really want to emphasize what she said about people needing to come back in front of you and say what they did, how many people came, and then you all can decide if this program needs to be refunded or not. I don't think it should just be an automatic thing across the board, that people just get money and know they can come to the city and just continue to get funded. I agree with the gentleman that just spoke about the need for grief counseling. I was, prior to answering the call to the ministry, I was a psychologist for 20 years, spent many of those years at Johns Hopkins Hospital as one of the chief psychologists there. I cannot tell you the impact of grief on those children, and dealing with their grief and having to counsel them on the grief and the impact that it has on their lives. And I was so touched, and the mothers as well, and the whole family and the community. And I was so touched when the children at Mariah's services, when they said they were talking about the dreams that they had as a group together, and the girls, they would sit around and talk about their dreams and how happy they were about going to college together and doing this and living together. And their response was, but now we can't. That's what's in their heart, and now we can't. So we can't let them continue with that kind of idea, and counseling is just truly needed. As looking at these funds, and as she said, $100,000 really doesn't go far, but grief counseling, or $200,000 doesn't really go far, but grief counseling is just definitely a need. And to reiterate the need to include the community and the family, because they're living it. They're living it every day. They're living it at 3 o'clock in the morning when they wake up and they want to go in, and a mom wants to go in and look at her child and give her child a kiss, and her child isn't there. They're living it every day. So we need to hear from the family what would have been more helpful for them, or helpful for them now as they're continuing to live this grief and this tragedy. Thank you very much. I appreciate you listening.
Michael Farrell.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Mike.
I can remember when Mariah attended Summers Elementary when she was in kindergarten. And I got a chance to work with her family and see them come through the Colorado line every day. So I agree with a lot of the things that you guys are saying. The family and the mom and the family should definitely be involved in how this money is going to be spent towards her. But some of the things that she really liked when she came out to the playground every other day, she loved to dance. She loved to sing. She loved to talk. Those are the things that we had here at Richardson, and I was appointed the new director at Richardson Community Center. So we don't have to go outside of that community. It's right there. It's right there. Everything that we need, we have lights going up for our basketball courts. We have a gymnasium. We have a cafeteria. We have all these things that we could provide right there within a mile of her house. So her family could be involved in that. And that's very important. About 10 years ago, they started a program when the violence in those bigger cities were really starting and inclining, and so they would have midnight basketball. And then out of that midnight basketball, they had activities for the kids, for the youth, to make sure that they were doing something every week to keep them off the streets, to make sure that they were in a safe place. But in regards to that all being able to happen, the police departments had to come together, and we all had to work as one. Not just the recreation departments, but the schools, the police departments. We all got to be a collaborative effort to make sure that this thing works. And it will work. It will work. And I agree with you have to be able to take the money and put it to where you think it. But there has to be some stats to show that this is working. And it would work, and it would work right there in Richardson Community Center. And if you guys were to look at that and, because I'm not gonna say I'm a new sheriff in town, but we're gonna do things a little bit different. We're gonna be, client-based, youth-based. We're gonna find out what they wanna do. We'll have field trips on Fridays, we'll have all different types of activities going on right there, because we have the facilities to be able to do all of those things that all of these other agencies don't have. Because we're right here, we're right there in that community. We don't have to go to Team Town or anywhere else. So, that's my speech for tonight.
Nice.
Mayor, you might ask me a question.
Sure.
I heard you say there's a new sheriff in town or a new person that's running that facility out there. How would we, there's two things that I found out early on that Mariah really loved. And that was dancing, and she loved animals, dogs.
Mhm.
So what activity do you have out to that community center that we can honor her right there? What activities do you have?
We could start, I mean, she loved to dance. We have a gymnasium there that we could have dances and things of that nature. We could do, but it would be a collaborative effort because we would have to have security there, police, you know. And all of the things that we're trying to do, that we would like to do, would be free to all of the kids. You don't have to pay for them. You just come out that one night, and from the hours of 6 to 10, we would need some extended hours of recreation during school days. When school is in, we would like to stay open to 7 o'clock. During the summer, we would like to close around 9 o'clock. That would give them something to do.
Mike, I really appreciate that. That means the world to me. Touch base with the city manager here sometime this week or whatever. And of course, don't do anything. I'm saying don't do anything without keeping Mariah and that family involved. That's important to me.
Well, it's important to me.
Okay?
Because like I said, I've been knowing her since she was,
All right, thank you very much, Mike.
Okay, next is Carol Tunsil.
Okay, I'm probably gonna be less than 3 minutes.
30 minutes.
Less than 3 minutes. I actually am the president and the founder of Unique Riders. We're a motorcycle club here that's been fighting against gun violence, domestic violence, any type of violence for 7 years now. I am heavily involved with every person that's encountered any type of gun violence in our community. Unique Riders was actually founded upon my cousin being murdered on Christmas Day of 2016. And since then, which his murder is unsolved, but since then, I grew a heart for this type of violence. So I have in place in that brochure, actually today after speaking with Mariah's grandmother, on programs that we can put in place, work with Richardson Community Center in the community, and get things together as far as having a Mariah's Dancing Divas or something of that nature to teach girls dance and also teach them things such as sisterhood, things of that nature for girls 12 to 16. That's like the age I put in. Also, get with like the local pet shops and humane centers and have like an adopt a pet in her honor, because that is something that she loved to do. And there's a picture actually on there with her with a dog. That was something that she loved to do. So any of the programs that these funds are going for should definitely be spent in her honor towards things that her family, her friends, and people that knew her can be involved in heavily. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Ma'am, you said you LLC?
I'm a nonprofit organization.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay, Dr. Philip Mobley.
Good evening. My name is Philip Mobley. Here in Lake City, live in Lake City. I am the manager of North Star Family Resource Center. And I will say that one of the things that, and I'm also on the board of Richardson Community Center. One of the things that Mike mentioned about the non-violence and the youth program, back in 2006, when Jacksonville was known as the murder capital of the world, the mayor of Jacksonville came to me and asked me to start a program. And I started a program called WIN, where we worked on the streets with kids in the community to determine how to solve violence. That program, when I left Jacksonville in 2015, we had all of the kids that went through that program, 80% of those kids ended up not being on the streets. And we were in the roughest part of Jacksonville, the Grand Park area. What I'm saying is a program has to be holistic. And I heard that, and it has to be measurable, it has to be accountable. And in order for that to happen, is that you have to put in the right infrastructure for this type of program. That program, a program that you develop, would have to deal with the parents, the help. You can work with kids, but the problem is not just the kids. The problem and the dilemma that's out there is kids, families, and whole community. How do we integrate that and come up with a programs that work is what we have to do. I don't think there's not a silver bullet. And it's not a 1-year thing. But we can develop programs, and I am here, not necessarily say come and do it at North Star. I am here to offer my service as a community servant to say I've done it, I've been there before, I know how to put these programs together, and I will help the community do the right thing for Mariah. Mariah is in making sure this program is developed in essence to be able to highlight her and to honor her. Mariah is she is one of my cousins. So it's family as well as community. And I think we love Lake City. We are seeing some things happen in Lake City that we need to stop. But the only way we can stop what's happening in Lake City is that we have to be proactive. The city and the county have to invest in children. And unfortunately, we have not truly invested in our children and our youth. And in order for us to become a community that care and value our young people, we have to be able to invest in it, and we have to develop programs that will be sustainable. I'm here, I'm willing to help you whatever way I can help you, and may God bless you and thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question for the
Yes,
doctor here. And Dr. Marley, you said that you were in Jacksonville?
Yes, sir.
And what was the name of
The
that?
name of the program, it was through North Star, it was through Northside Church of Christ. The name of the program was the WIN program, and you can look it up. You can look me up on that. I even got a accommodation from the mayor and the governor, Governor Charlie Crist. Actually gave us a accommodation for the work that we did in Jacksonville, and my program was funded through the city of Jacksonville, and then the Jaguars funded the program until I left Jacksonville. So but we can get community partners to help us. Our kids did more than, our kids went to not only that we had mentors, we had the Alpha fraternity working with our young kids, we had motorcycle clubs working with our kids. It's not just one group, it's the whole community coming together and working to solve this problem. And that's what we have to get. Yes, sir.
Please see Mr. Johnson and work with him. And because just like you say, it's got to be a whole team of people to help with this problem that we're having with our community.
Correct.
So please give that.
All right, thank you.
I appreciate you for coming.
Appreciate you, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next is Travis George.
Good evening, Travis George, 369 Northeast Froney Street. So on January 19th, we had a meeting at Trinity United Methodist Church, Dr. Green's church. At that meeting, we had a community forum about ways that we could curtail violence in the community. Mariah's mom was at that meeting as well. We set another meeting as a follow-up because it was a consensus from everybody there that we get the buy-in from the younger audience on what they thought would help. So we tabled that meeting to February 22nd. So that meeting is scheduled to go February 22nd at 6 p.m. If I would ask respectfully that if before you all make a decision, could you all allow us that opportunity to have that meeting on February 22nd at 6 o'clock? I pray Mariah's mom can make it to that meeting as well. That way, that'll give her a chance to bring her kids, give input on how money can be allocated. I think what we should do at that meeting is, as a community, we allow the kids to spearhead it. We come up with a strategic plan which will lay out at least top 3 to 5 goals that the kids are looking at that we can do. And it'll be the opinion of the kids. Her parents and grandmother don't have to feel like we have to rush a decision to allocate funding somewhere. We present that to you all. We find the agencies that can actually put those programs together, and we see what that cost will look like. As adults, we'll be there to help them come up with those ideas, but that will be on February 22nd. One of the things Dr. Marble just said is about us investing in our young people, and we need to get our young people to invest those ideas in us so we can see if we can do it. Some things we can't do, but there's some things that I'm pretty sure our young people can tell us that we can do. And then that way we give the mother a chance to come. She can kind of help us spearhead these young people. She can bring her children out. They can give their ideas about what it is that they think our young people need. And we're actually getting that firsthand perspective on what they're telling us that they need. And I don't know if you guys have to spend the money today, but if we can wait until after we've had that meeting, then we reach out to these agencies and start saying, these are the things we want to work on, and we put that budget together to come back to you all.
I think the consensus tonight from the community and the council is let Dee and staff work on all these things that he's hearing tonight, talk to y'all, work on his suggestion, and this will take a while, and even his suggestion, like he said, it's not gonna be all the money, so.
Right.
We wanna get a budget, so I'm sure.
Beautiful. Then yes, sir. After our February 22nd meeting, we plan on working with these young people, and we're putting it out there because it's not a closed meeting. We want people to show up to help our young people. Thank you.
Thank you.
When you said we, are you talking about all of the preachers and teachers, or you just talking about?
Well, that panel was actually made up of some ministers, some people from our community. Like I say, Mariah's mom was there as well. A couple of members from the Freedom Riders were there. Dr. Green helped spearhead that. And Commissioner, Councilman Hill and Young were both here. We were both there that night to listen to the ideas. And so we placed an action item to come back on the 22nd at 6 o'clock.
Will that be at Trinity?
So, no, sir, we're planning on actually, hopefully,
We're hoping it'll be.
at Country Corner, at the Country.
We're hoping after I talk with Michael, after I talk to Mr. Mayor, we're actually hoping that we'll have.
I can't hear you at home, I'm so sorry. That's okay.
We're actually hoping to hold it at Richardson because we don't think that space that we originally talked about will be large enough because we're working on really reaching out to a number of kids. So we're going to see if we can have it at Richardson.
When y'all decide, if y'all could get with Dee or Audrey and she could shoot a email to everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you, Preacher, for reaching out, and you and the Florida Gateway College, Dr. Berry. We really appreciate you guys wanting to help and work with us as much as you can, especially our youth.
Yes, sir. All right, help. Let us know.
Okay, Al Nelson.
Good evening, Al Nelson, 399 Southwest Tompkins Route in Lake City, Florida. I am the esteemed pastor of the New Day Spring Missionary Baptist Church that is on Lone Street.
two things. Number one, once we make a decision about the Mariah Fund, I would hope that they are measurable, that we hold the entities accountable, they're realistic, and something that we can trust from years to come, and not just now, but in the future. On September the 20th, I was fortunate enough to have a meeting at the New Day Spring Missionary Baptist Church. At then, Mr. D was the assistant city manager, the chief of police, Mr. Butler was there, Ms. Travella Young, and some other people. And then I had the awesome privilege of hosting the Florida General Baptist State Convention President, Mr. Carl Johnson. Dr. Carl Johnson. He came all the way from Miami, Florida, because I reached out to him about the incident that happened with Mariah. And we met and we talked. We gave Mr. Johnson some tidbits about the things that he did in his area, about gun violence, about bringing the community together. And their city council and county council came up with a plan to, I think the plan was over $8 million that they gave to them to put into the Dade County area to make sure that they were taken care of. And Mr. Johnson has a copy of that, of what things they implemented to support the young people. Dr. Johnson came that day, that night. We had a tent revival on the church lawn at New Day Spring. Dr. Johnson went to the grandma of Miss Mariah and had prayer with her. They were from Miami, so they were just chatting it up about Miami and seeing where he's from, where the church is, and things of that nature. But we all had a great experience. We recognized them as well as at the tent revival. But my main concern is, and I think many others have already said it, on Wednesday night, I'm meeting with my youth ministry at the church, and we're going to get ready for the 2024 year. And the reason why I say that is I have a big old sticky note that I put in the classrooms. There's actually 2 of them. I asked the young people to put their ideas out there. I want to know what they want to see, what they want to happen. Last year, they asked me, Pastor, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to go bowling. I want to go to Wild Adventures. I want to do this. And me as the pastor, I said, okay, let me see what we can do and make this happen. We got to get the voice from the young people and see what they want to do. They're not going to do what a 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old want to do. They want to do their own thing. So we got to allow them to have their voice in whatever decision that we make. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight for this important topic. And the input we've had tonight has been really good. I think it seems like there's a consensus among the community that they want to see programs that actually do something and that they're accountable for. My understanding from what I've heard tonight is let staff start working on this and get us a budget. Mr. Hill, Mr. Jernigan, y'all got anything?
No, okay. No, I'm going to.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, sharing their thoughts and values on this situation that we're going through. And I think we're moving in the right direction on getting our community to come together on these different events, and I just think that we're gonna get it worked out. That's all.
Yes, Mayor, I just want to thank the family for showing up. Had a long conversation with them today, and I just want to thank y'all. And if y'all like to say anything, if you'd like to call D privately and talk with him, or you want him to come where you guys are, I'm pretty sure he's willing and able to help wherever he can. He's a man of great honor, and I believe once he tells me he's going to do something, he's never let me down yet. So and you know, we got a in my opinion, we got an excellent police department here. Excellent. You know, like when you need to talk to Chief Butler, anybody on his staff, I just know that they will do everything in their power to help you guys. Everything, from counseling to whatever you may need. Chief Butler and his staff they're first class. That's what I can tell you. So please do not hesitate to dial 911 or 119, whatever number they call, 4343, and talk with our police department, because they're really good, really good. So I really appreciate everybody for showing up, and I want y'all to have a good night. I want everybody to be safe. That's important.
Thank y'all again, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move, Mayor.
All right.